Star Trek was Gene Roddenberry's concept. He created it and got it made, but it was the work of others, including Dorothy Fontana, directors Mark Daniels and Joseph Pevney, producer Robert Justman, and Desilu Studios, that would shape and elevate the show to its now legendary status. Another champion of the series was writer Gene L. Coon, who came on board halfway through the show's first season. Gene L. Coon is generally considered to be one of Star Trek's greatest strengths, having a natural feel for the kind of story that would be appropriate for the series. Under his creative supervision came such episodes as Arena, based on Frederick Brown's story of the same name, which pitted Kirk against the lizard-like Gorn creature and resulted in the crew of the Enterprise being spared by an alien race because Kirk shows the trait of mercy. A Taste of Armageddon, a powerful Vietnam analogy in which two planets wage a bloodless war via computer, with people living in designated areas voluntarily walking into disintegration chambers. Space Seed, which introduced Ricardo Montalban as Khan Noonien Singh and gave the audience a taste of what our future would be like. The Devil in the Dark, an episode revealing that a creature known as the Horta, who was killing Starfleet miners, was actually a mother protecting her young. And Errand of Mercy, which introduced the Klingons. He was also responsible for creating the Prime Directive. Gene Coon defined Star Trek for future generations. His contributions to the series were important enough for William Shatner to mention him at the commemoration of the Gene Roddenberry building on the Paramount lot several months before Roddenberry's passing. In my opinion, said Shatner, Gene Coon has more to do with the infusion of life into Star Trek than any other single person. Gene Roddenberry's instincts for creating the original package is unparalleled. You can't even discuss it. He put it together, hired the people, and the concept was his, and set in motion by him. But after 13 episodes, other people took over. Gene Coon spent a year and set the tenor for the show. Roddenberry was more in the background, as others took over. Harve Bennett, who produced the feature films for almost 10 years, said Coon was an inspiration. Veteran producer Glenn A. Larson, whose credits include Knight Rider and Battlestar Galactica, believed that Gene Coon was the spirit and soul of the show. I don't think the show would have gone in the direction it did, nor had its enormous credibility, said Larson. From what I could tell, Gene Coon was Star Trek. When he was no longer there, the show quickly degenerated to Monster of the Week, which was always the danger of science fiction and television. Gene had a good sense of drama, in addition to strong concepts. Gene Coon was born in Nebraska and enlisted in the US Marines in 1942, where he spent 4 years. From there he wrote scripts for such shows as Bonanza, Wagon Train, Have Gun Will Travel, Rawhide and Peter Gunn. He also created The Munsters for Universal Pictures. It was Star Trek where he found his true niche. If you look at the episodes in a chronological order, you can see the show's more memorable aspects come into effect during Coon's reign. The first half of Season 1, while it has some excellent episodes, Balance of Terror for example, the writers and producers were still trying to find their footing. When Coon came on board, we started to get things like the Prime Directive, stuff that was later identified as the nobler parts of Star Trek, stuff that Gene Roddenberry gets the most credit for. Coon also decided that the show was about Kirk, Spock and McCoy, and that became the formula. His scripts contained a lot of social commentary, which became a staple of the series, again something that is generally credited to Gene Roddenberry. Coon also developed the humour of the characters, Mr. Scott's complaining miracle worker, and most notably between Spock and McCoy. That relationship evolved into what ultimately became a friendship. It was fun to create those conversations once we started getting into them, recalled Dorothy Fontana. I think Gene Coon led the way on that. Coon's writing habits were as unique as his scripts. When he would get mired down in a story, he simply went to sleep. The next day the solution always presented itself, and he would write at a frenetic pace until lunchtime, then take the rest of the day off. Gene Coon left the show in the middle of the second series due to the fact that he had simply burned himself out. Sitting in his office one day, looking at 2 scripts, he put his pen down, said that's it, and walked out. As he was still contracted to the show, he did write additional scripts, including Spectre of the Gun, under the pen name Lee Cronin. Gene Roddenberry once said of Coon, I found him to be an immensely inventive writer and immensely devoted to many of the things I was devoted to. He had the ability to write fast and well. We worked together on many things over the years. It was great fun. I loved him. Gene L. Coon died of cancer in 1973, before the resurgence of the show and before the start of the conventions. He never got to see the legendary status that the show would adopt, a status he was largely responsible for. Unfortunately, he was never interviewed, and his enormous contribution to Star Trek remained mostly unacknowledged. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, hailing frequencies closed. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell too. Thank you.